Hello, Saskia, devotional goddess here. So today, January, the asana is Tadasana. I felt it was important as we enter into this new year to really anchor in to our Tadasana and just take a few minutes to go deeper into it and really feel and anchor into the physical structure of Tadasana, but also the energetics. And feeling that connection throughout the whole body, mentally, physically, emotionally, and allowing that to really anchor in to our psyche and into our physical bodies. So come join me to stand. As we come to stand at the head of the mat, allowing your feet to be hip width apart. Let me step into the center here. Your middle toe is in line with the center of your heel. Now, gentlemen, you can be toe to toe because you anatomically have narrower hips than childbearing women. So, ladies, we will be hip width apart. And gentlemen, you can decide which feels better within your body. All right. As you align your feet and you align your middle toe to the center of the heel, it may result in you feeling as if you're knock-kneed. If that is showing up for you, have a slight micro bend in the knees, barely visible, but you know it's there. And that will help realign the muscular structure above and below the knee so that you create greater protection and alignment in the foundation of your body, in the appendages. Now, as we stand, there's an energetic drawing down of the sits bones downwards towards the heels. An inch below your belly button. So find your belly button and drop an inch below. From here, we draw in towards the spine and we gently lift and lengthen up to the heart. It's an internal action. If you're familiar with Mula Bandha, you take Mula Bandha. If you don't know what that is, this inch below the belly button is a pre-Mula Bandha action. And that is suffice for now as you engage and connect with those inner actions of drawing inwards and upwards. So from that containment through the pelvis and through the inner organs at the base of the spine or at the base of the torso, you're drawing and gathering the energy up. Now, from the heart, you're lengthening to your throat. And from your throat, you lengthen to the crown of your head. So as you root and ground into the legs and the feet, the spine and the heart and the crown energetically rises. So the appendages, the arms and the legs, have a descending quality. The shoulder blades are part of that appendage. So the shoulder blades want to be framing the back body, and the ends of the shoulder blades want to draw slightly in towards the spine. So what it does is it broadens through your collarbone and it allows for that lift up out of the armpit chest. And from that lift in the armpit chest, the shoulder blades are descending. The heart is open and receptive, but there's a containment through the lower torso. There's a containment through the root chakra, the second chakra, and the third chakra. We're learning to contain in these lower chakras and root and ground to create more steadiness in the physical body. And from that containment and grounding, the heart can open and the crown and the heart can rise. This grounding steadies us physically, mentally, emotionally. And as we create greater grounding in our physical body and we feel our divine connection to Mother Earth, we connect with that presence of the earth We connect with the reverence of everything she offers us and gives us. And from that grounding, we rise up and cultivate that rising up, not only of our spine, but also of our consciousness, as we ascend upwards and connect to that divine, infinite part of ourselves, that spark of God that resides within each of us. But the grounding is so important because we've come down to live in these physical bodies. And in order for our soul and our soul path to be fully present and conscious in our lives, grounding is essential. Because when we are grounded in our physical body, without being heavy and allowing gravity to take us down, we want to root to rise. And while we are grounded in our physical being, it is easier for the soul to remain aligned within us. I think we all know what it feels like when we check out. We've most likely all done it at some point in our lives to varying degrees. And when we check out, our soul actually resides alongside us. And we want it to remain embodied within us. And that comes from grounding. Because when we are grounded, when we find that steadiness in our root, that we're no longer in fight or flight, struggling and depleted and not feeling safe in the world, it comes from within. It's an inner journey to feel steady and grounded and safe here in our own being, regardless where we are in the world around us. And especially in our homes is where we truly want to feel safe and steady and grounded. And that ultimate home is here, in our hearts, in our third chakra. So the more grounding and steadiness we can create, even in our physical foundation, the rest will unfold in our finances, in our housing, in all the external places where we might not feel as safe, that will begin to fall more readily in place the more we align with our own physical grounding. And when we are aligned and grounded here at the base, we also begin to cultivate grounding in our second chakra. This is our creative life force. This is our power where we create life. And this is where our genius also resides, in our creativity. So we want to have steadiness and groundedness here. And that comes with that energetic containment within our core. As we draw in and we start to contain our inner power, our inner creativity, and we begin to draw it up. And then we continue to draw it up to our third chakra, our essence, our individuality, our own creative, unique imprint that makes you, you. And often, these are the areas where we can be down and out. Our root is down and out. Our creative life force has no containment and it's all spilling out. And so is our connection to ourselves. So is our identity of who am I? What drives me? What do I love to do? Who do I love being with? How do I fulfill my creativity? How do I fulfill my sense of self? And do I know truly who that is, or am I on the path to truly discovering who that is? So this energetic containment that we cultivate in our Tadasana builds upon all of these energies. Do you see how vital it is? We think standing is, you do it every day, but how do we do it? We tend to stand on one leg and we tend to collapse, down and out. And we can learn how to stand more evenly on both feet. how to ground the energy more completely, creating a circuit through the base. Grounding right, grounding left, containing the energy in this pelvis and gathering it up so that we can take all that knowledge, our grounding, our energy of our creative life force, and our sense of self and our connection to our identity. And we start to bring it up into the heart, where we start to radiate out in that luminous state of, I know how to be in the world, and stay contained and stay true to who I am, knowing my ethics, my morals, my truth. And as that builds in our hearts, it starts to radiate more deeply into our auric field. And as we continue to harness the energy from the heart to our throats, now we too begin to speak our truth with greater clarity, always from love, because we've connected to that power in our hearts, and we know our truth, and we speak from our love, we speak from our truth, with boundaries, with definition, knowing what it is that is right for us, setting the appropriate boundaries in our tone, in our presence. And then the more we speak our truth out into the world, spreading our love, spreading that light from the heart, from the throat, we allow that ripple effect to come out into the world and positively impact our world. As all this continues to build in your energetic body, more sight comes. The unseen, what we don't see with the naked eye, the truth that resides, even though it's not seen with the naked eye, we can see it from our third eye. And it's not always nice. Seeing truth can be painful at times. But through our grounding, through our knowing of who we are in ourselves, we're able to hold that discomfort when we see the ugly truth sometimes. And we're able to witness the evil in the world, the disharmony in the world, but not be part of it. We've created an energetic shield between that distortion that's out in the world, and we still remain that light. But that distortion out in the world is out there because it also somewhere resides within us. But we are able to maintain the grounding and the steadiness within ourselves, that we're able to meet that shadow part of ourselves that we don't normally like to see, but we're able to hold it. Now, this Tadasana can be when we're seated. This Tadasana can be when we're walking. This Tadasana, the energy of our Tadasana, the groundedness, that containment. We're not going to be standing still throughout our lives. We're going to be moving forwards in life. But as we take these moments throughout the day to pause, to anchor into our steadiness, be one with our Tadasana, cognitively connected to all these elements of containment that allow us to open our hearts, to be in our truth. And from that spoken voice, from that seeing the beauty and the distortion in life, we begin to be able to connect with the divine, that infinite spark of God that resides within each and every one of us. Our own divinity that resides within, and that we truly come to meet. And every time we create greater strength and resilience within, then we come to see more and more of our own beauty. Because sometimes we get glimpses of it and like, oh my gosh, no, that I'm not worthy to be that. And we shut it down. So this is why that steadiness that we cultivate within, and we merge all of this with our steady inhale and our steady exhale, and we allow that rhythmic breath to be present. We keep that 5% more in our heels than in the balls of our feet. And we maintain this breath within the groundedness, because we know that when we get disrupted, we stilt our breath, because there's this protection mode that comes in and we contract. And when we contract in the lungs and the throat and the chest and the heart, and all of that retracts. But that's okay. We're going to have this ebb and flow in life. And it's that pause that we witness. I'm contracting. It's okay. I don't need to. I'm bigger than this. It's no need to be afraid. Just that connection to your breath speaks the words that I just said. We don't have to speak the words every time. It's all right, my love. There's no need to be afraid. You're safe. The connection to our breath is that translation of I am safe. I know how it is to come home. I know how it is to feel grounded and present to myself. I don't have to check out. I can hold all those wounded parts of myself. The 1-year-old, the 3-year-old, the 5-year-old, the 14-year-old, wherever our trauma has impacted our lives, we're all going to have it. We are human beings. These are our contracts. And as we cultivate our Tadasana and we learn to be that mountain that can take on the weather that nature throws at us, to take on all of the chaos in the world, but stay steady and know how to be one internally. Not rigid, but fluid, able to pivot, able to adjust, but still rock solid, still steady. And there will be times where we'll lose our balance, and there will be times where we've lost our way. But this building of that connection within allows us to come more steadily, more readily back to our center. All of this in our Tadasana. Can you believe it? Such a powerful pose. And one day, if you wish, you may learn how to come into an inversion and stand on your head. But you can't do that if you can't root to rise already here in your Tadasana. If you can't defy gravity out of grounding, flipping your world upside down, you won't be able to maintain that grounding. But you will if you practice it in standing. Merging with your breath, finding that 5% more in your heels than in the balls of your feet, and finding that stillness. Just 3 to 5 breaths a day. 3 to 5 breaths 3 times in a day, 4 times in a day, whatever you feel called to, but do it daily. Do it while you're washing up. Do it while you're cooking or chopping, when you know you're going to be standing in one place in the supermarket, waiting in line. Be conscious of how you're standing. Plant your feet to the earth and root to rise. Embody your full body and your auric field. And take up space, because you deserve to take up space. You deserve to have your feet planted to the earth and to be connected to your magnificence and build upon that connection to your magnificence. because this is why you chose to incarnate. To come back and remember again and again and again just how magnificent you are in your true essence. And that all our history and our traumas and our upsets do not define us. They actually are opportunities for us to build and become stronger. And they would not have come on our path if we had not had the ability to this point to live through it. So hold that knowledge in your heart. There have been many times where I've sent that prayer up of, okay, God, if I chose this, if I signed up for this, send me the right people. Help me to see what lies within me so that I can rise above and grow from this and become stronger and become more able to surrender while gaining my inner strength. So much love. Thank you for joining me. And I look forward to being with you again soon in next week's video. All right. Much love. Take care. Bye-bye.